Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my review of the IDW Sonic comic series. Last time we went over the first half of the story, covering my thoughts on the characters and the world these comics both introduced and reintroduced. So today, we wrap up the first arc of the IDW Sonic comic series. This is the ending of the Metal Madness saga. As a quick reminder, at the end of last week's video, Sonic and Company had just discovered Metal Sonic, now rebuilt into his Neo form, was the one behind the organization of Eggman's army post-Forces. And so, Sonic and the gang are off to search Eggman facilities to find out just what Neo is up to. Moving forward with the story, Sonic busts into an Eggman facility, but unknowingly is helped out in many of his close calls by a mysterious figure from the shadows. When faced with a Super Badnik, Silver the Hedgehog makes his grand reintroduction. But after some friendly banter, both Sonic and Silver are rescued from a Badnik sneaking up from behind. Silver, upon not taking claim for the save, tells Sonic it must have been the work of the Guardian Angel. Silver describes them as a legendary figure, who would often turn the tide of battle in favor of the Resistance, but never joined the army. Furthermore, Silver tells Sonic that he's back from the future because it wasn't saved after Eggman's defeat, but instead was replaced with a world of pure metal, and all that remained was water and sparse metallic plant life. After Silver's explanation, Sonic takes note of how the Badnik was destroyed, saying that this was a much more precise shot than any standard Wispon can pull off. As our Hedgehog duo turns the corner, they see someone attempting to smash down the next door. Silver enthusiastically shouts, "That must be the Guardian Angel!" But as he does so, the figure jumps to the shadows. After Sonic points out odds are she's just a shy loner, he manages to call her down as an ally. She reveals her name to be Whisper in a quiet, timid voice. The three then join forces to take down a monstrous robot reminiscent of E-105 from SA1, with some fantastic artwork and combo attacks, alongside a small moment of bonding between Silver and Whisper. As Sonic and Silver approach the computer, Whisper, by merely seeing the Eggman logo, is filled with rage, ready to smash the computer using her cube ability on her Wispon. Sonic quickly stops her, and the heroes discover Metal Sonic's plan as Knuckles himself feels a disturbance with the Master Emerald. Sonic and Silver confirm the Emerald Guardian's suspicions and inform the Resistance home base that Metal Sonic has the Master Emerald. The standout characters here are without a doubt Silver and especially Whisper. Silver is exactly how I wanted, as I described in my Silver character analysis video. But one problem still persists. I do love his dorky personality because it lends to great chemistry with Sonic overall, but it really helps in the comedic department without Sonic ever being mean. His sweet tender moment with Whisper shows he's still mature and not an entirely immature dork. But the fact that they're still using his destroyed future as a character motivation is something that I think is just outdated and he needs to step away from. Whisper is fantastic here though. Her shy, reserved personality is both endearing and intriguing, especially whenever you consider her prowess in combat and her hatred of Eggman and his empire. She legit looked like she had a PTSD attack. I'm very interested in learning more about her backstory. A fantastic design, appealing personality, interesting backstory, and on top of all of that, a weapon that builds on pre-existing concepts in new and engaging ways without a doubt makes Whisper a more than welcome inclusion into the main Sonic cast. But after that bombshell, the whole gang reconvenes at Resistance HQ, along with Tangle and Whisper tagging along. It's clear Knuckles is furious about the situation and is filled with frustration as he holds himself entirely responsible. Amy tries to reassure him that it wasn't his fault, but Knuckles won't budge. They discuss the plan to separate into 3 teams. Teams 1 and 2 will flank the Egg Fleet, destroying it, thus freeing Angel Island, while Team 3 goes head-to-head with Neo Metal Sonic. Blaze offers to attack Neo as Burning Blaze using the Soul Emeralds, but the possibility of Neo copying her biodata and using her powers means that it's far too dangerous, but her powers will be useful away from Neo. Definitely excited to see how she'll help out in the climax, as Burning Blaze has always been one of my favorite forms in the franchise conceptually, even though I didn't have a real appreciation for the character until this very comic book. They take to the skies in an airship flown by Tails. We get some cute interactions between characters, such as Sonic doing his best to welcome Whisper to the group and thank her for coming, and Tangle showing off her mischievous side in a game of cards, and Amy and Blaze reconnecting and remembering to stay positive. All of these interactions are both in character and add some good levity before the final battle. One thing I want to point out again is the fact that Knuckles is genuinely disappointed in himself. You really understand why he's beating himself up about the situation. His maturity shines through, taking full responsibility for leaving the Master Emerald vulnerable. And after his anger shown earlier, you know he's laser focused on defeating Metal Sonic and getting his emerald back. But most interestingly, Rouge is pointing out to Shadow that she's very surprised he wasn't more reluctant to join a big team up, which his excuse is that he has his own reasons to be here. I hate this. Shadow would most certainly be here to fight off Metal Sonic and would have no problems with the team-up or supporting Knuckles. While reading this, I had the same look on my face Whisper did overhearing this conversation. As the hero ship is attacked by the Egg Fleet, Team 3 rides off on their extreme gear, followed closely by Burning Blaze. Team B jumps ship as Tails plans to crash land for maximum damage. As the battle rages on outside, Blaze reflects on finally being with her friends once more after so long in her dimension. A small yet tender emotional moment. But as the resistance falls down to the fleet, they begin their attack. Amy realizes Shadow's nowhere to be seen. Meanwhile, on the ground, Sonic and Knuckles break into the cybernetic chamber built around the Master Emerald. As our heroes square up to Neo, they're met with his brand new form. Great! Just great!
Well, weren't you going to stop me? Come, show me what you're made of.
This design is simply phenomenal. No, it's not exactly groundbreaking, but that's exactly why it shines, quite literally in this case. Instead of changing the quill shape like Supersonic, the design is confident enough in its own base look, allowing the change from a blue to a strong dominant yellow, and Super Neo Metal Sonic's demonstration of power to be more than enough to hook you on this form. This is truly worthy of being called a super transformation. Without skipping a beat, Metal Sonic puts his new power to use and begins beating Sonic and Knuckles to a pulp. Outside, the Resistance is doing far better, as Blaze uses up the rest of her energy, destroying half of the Egg Fleet, while the rest of the Resistance destroys their half. But once things have calmed down outside, Rouge and Amy have a conversation about Shadow ditching them, in which Amy asks why would he even leave, to which Rouge responds, knowing Shadow, probably seeking out the strongest threat he can get his hands on. And may I ask, since when has Shadow ever done that? Throughout the entire franchise, from best to worst, a want to fight strong enemies to either test his power or any selfish reason whatsoever has never been an aspect of his character. Shadow, especially after his development in Sonic Adventure 2 and Shadow the Hedgehog's true ending, where he decides to hold Maria in his heart and not allow the past to dominate his future and move forward his own way, he would never have any kind of motivation to act this way. I do not buy for a second Shadow would act this rude, arrogant, and self-absorbed. So they've essentially made Shadow just an all-out jerk, and I absolutely despise it. That is not Shadow the Hedgehog, and they need to fix this immediately. But I do want to clarify the they that I'm speaking about. Ian Flynn is a fantastic writer. He knows every single Sonic character, practically down to a cellular level. He has written some of the best Sonic stories, well, ever, no matter the medium. But you can clearly tell that the new Saga mandates are hitting him hard in IDW. As I'm sure most of you have pieced together, Archie could basically get away with whatever they wanted. But in IDW, they are clearly being more strict. Ian Flynn has mentioned this several times on his Twitter account. He is a good writer, I trust him writing any Sonic story, but these mandates are hitting him hard, and I think that Sega needs to reevaluate just who these characters are and get them back to who they should be. But as I say all this, maybe Shadow's character gets better and I haven't heard about it, but all of these thoughts and opinions are strictly on what I've read throughout the Metal Madness saga. But of course, to no one's surprise, Shadow appears, barging into battle, knocking Neo out of his super form with Chaos Spear. But with Shadow's biodata and the Master Emerald, Metal Sonic can become Metal Overlord once more. But with the Master Emerald at his command, he takes over the new name, Master Overlord. Sonic, Shadow, and Knuckles, along with the Resistance, fight him off, keeping him distracted long enough for Knuckles to take the Emerald back and bring Metal Sonic crashing down to his base form, completely out of commission. Tails puts Metal into a lab, along with Sonic watching over his metallic double. In an extremely thoughtful, or stupid gesture depending on how you look at it, Sonic offers Metal a chance of his own life to redeem himself like Gemerald did, and not be Eggman's flunky. Metal Sonic slaps away Sonic's extended hand, running away without hesitation. Sonic decides to respect his decision. Sonic then begins to say his goodbyes to the Resistance. He finds Knuckles, who has officially disbanded the Resistance to stay on Angel Island. This news Amy does not take enthusiastically, considering what that really means is she's basically the one in charge. Tangle and Whisper are developing a friendship of their own. Even so far along, Whisper told Tangle a joke, but is too shy to repeat it to the Blue Blur. Blaze is heading back to her dimension, but Silver chooses to stay in Sonic's present time, fearing his bad future hasn't been prevented. Rouge is keeping her options of adventure open at the moment, but agrees to Sonic's request of telling Shadow he said thanks. Lastly, Sonic and Tails have a heart-to-heart, confident they can handle just about anything. But there's one aspect of the story I've yet to mention. One background element only given a few pages in the last volume. Rough and Tumble have kidnapped Mr. Tinker from the mountain village and taken him to a mysterious Dr. Starline. Strapped down in Starline's lab, Mr. Tinker begs to be set free, screaming that he isn't and doesn't want to be Eggman. But after a serious electric shock and the reappearance of Metal Sonic, the Mad Doctor has regained his memory and demands to know what's going on. We learn that Dr. Starline is a deep admirer of Eggman's work, busting Rough and Tumble out of prison and doing all this to reawaken Eggman. He brings a few things to the table. The first is his Warp Topaz, a gem allowing him to instantly teleport wherever he desires. The second is his apprenticeship fee, as he puts it, but in reality, it's all 7 Chaos Emeralds, neatly packaged for Eggman. After Eggman tells Starline to keep Sonic distracted as he works, Eggman, Orbot, and Cubot boot up some old files. Orbot asks Eggman if he really wants to unleash that upon the world, to which Eggman gladly responds,
"Oh yes, yes indeed. I've suffered quite the indignity during my last setback. Now, the world will suffer in return."
Ending the Metal Madness saga. And what an arc it was, let me tell you. This story is such a great opening, not only to this series of books under IDW's publication, but also as an opening to a new era of Sonic. The world established may not have humans, Station Square, or any of the other previous Sonic landmarks, but at the same time, the mere reference that the old games did happen and that all the previous mainline games are still canon makes this world feel all the more connected, and it doesn't take much imagination to just imagine, well, I guess that Station Square must be way over there, this place must be way over there. The world established makes it feel so connected to everything that came before it, and yet more alive than ever, with civilians constantly populating the pages, along with real towns and settlements built onto a world ripe for grand set pieces worthy of being Sonic-level locations. Which is all the more impressive considering something very easy to mess up when constructing a Sonic world is making level locations without a world for them to actually occupy, and I'm so happy it avoids that catastrophic flaw. The pre-existing characters are fantastically portrayed as natural evolutions of the best parts of their personalities of the past, with of course the exception of Shadow. The same can be said for the new characters, as their personalities mesh so well with the pre-existing cast that they feel like more than natural fits, each with room to grow and develop, but have a strong enough core to stand on their own right now. Especially Dr. Starline, an Eggman worshipper in all but title. His devotion to the Mad Doctor is one I cannot wait to see explored, as I anticipate he will either make himself a powerful asset to Eggman or perhaps a great enemy to both Sonic and Eggman. The pace of this arc is non-stop story, and the action is made all the more impressive when you read through the story and don't ever feel plot points are rushed over, skimmed over, and the lingering moments feel purposeful. The page composition and layouts were constantly top-notch, complementing the gorgeous artwork of all the artists who work on the series, not to mention the fantastic writing of Ian Flynn, bringing his complete understanding of the Sonic series in full force here, with fun action, serious stakes, and fantastic storytelling. He is truly a masterful Sonic writer. The Metal Madness arc is truly a delight. A Sonic story I could recommend to any fan or beginner looking to get into the series. If you're a Sonic fan, you need to read this arc, for reasons I've already gone in depth explaining. And even if you aren't a Sonic fan but want to become one, this is a great place to start your journey. And that being said, I'm going to put this IDW review series on hold. I definitely want to get to the Metal Virus saga and everything after that, but unfortunately, these videos take a long time to write, edit, just put everything together. It is definitely draining, and from now on I'm going to mainly stick with my character analysis type of videos, my Sonic, Shadow, Knuckles, Silver, those type of videos. I'm going to do my best to keep making those until I run out of characters, of course. But as for my bigger projects, my 20 to 30 minute endeavors, I'm going to be sticking with sort of game reviews. Think my 06 video. I'm going to be looking at games in the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise and maybe even branch out to other franchises' games. But basically, I am going to look at the gameplay, the storytelling, the interpretations of the characters. I'm just going to look at all of it and review it all, both as objectively as I can from a game design standpoint, from a narrative storytelling standpoint, and then add my own subjectivity in there, giving you all my opinion on the things that I can look over, things that I cannot look over, detriments, pluses, basically just one big review. So that's the type of content that I'm going to be making going forward, just so that way you guys know that. That being said, I will see you in the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe. Bye-bye.